The battle to tame the stricken Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant filled television screens in the aftermath of a massive earthquake and tsunami. 6% of the world's electricity comes from nuclear plants, but consumers rarely give them a thought until something goes horribly wrong, as it did in Japan. Images of the mangled plant won't easily be forgotten, but what's a nuclear plant like during better times? In August 2007, Tokyo Electric Power Company invited me to visit its Kashiwazaki-Kariwa nuclear power station, the largest in the world by power output. TEPCO was keen to prove no major damage had been caused by a magnitude 6.6 quake that struck a month earlier. Both this plant and Fukushima are boiling water reactors. This one is much newer. It was built in the mid-90s, whereas Fukushima Daiichi is from the mid-70s. To get inside the plant, I had to go through several security checks, including an airport-style metal detector and X-ray for my camera. I wasn't allowed to film them. Once inside, the effect of the quake on the environment around the reactor buildings was obvious. The ground had been buckled and cracks remained in small walls. But my destination was the inside of Reactor Unit 3. Inside the building, everything is big. The construction, as you might expect, is very solid. Long corridors snake around the inside. Doors in front won't open unless doors behind are closed. These hydraulic pumps are for moving the control rods, which contain a neutron-absorbing material and can help control the nuclear reaction that occurs at the core. Reactor 3 has 185 of the pumps, one for each rod. At the center of the building is the containment vessel. A passage leads through its extremely thick wall. If the reactor core were ever to melt down and fuel burn through the bottom, the containment vessel is supposed to seal radioactivity in. It needs to be very strong. Inside there are several levels, so all the pipework, valves and machinery can be accessed. The people that work here know every corner. Somewhere above, the bottom of the reactor vessel. This is one of the pumps that injects liquid into the reactor core to stop the nuclear reaction. It's pumps like these that are among the troubles in Fukushima. At the very top of the building is the spent fuel pool. This is where used fuel rods are stored to cool down. Another problem faced in Fukushima is the loss of water from a pool like this. Next to the pool is a cover on top of the reactor core, and above it, a large crane. The crane lifts the rods from the reactor to the spent fuel pool. The men I met at the plant, and they were all men, struck me as being serious about their jobs, professionals who cared for the plant they operated as if it was their own. Media reports talked about heroic workers in Fukushima who risked endangering their lives to get the plant under control. Unfortunately, their employer, Tokyo Electric, has a history of falsifying safety data and covering up accidents. That's likely to put its actions under intense scrutiny at a later inquiry. Even though it was more than 3 years ago, the memories of my visit are still fresh in my mind. A nuclear power station is an amazing piece of engineering, and Kashiwazaki-Kariwa was, without doubt, one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. Martin Williams, IDG News Service.